Hello everyone, I'm Ye Zhu from Texas State University. I'm going to present our work for the paper Hierarchical Hidden Markov Model for Eye Movement Classification. Eye tracking technology nowadays has attracted much research attention and interests, and it is becoming a potential and promising driver for future immersive technologies. One fundamental and significant research topic in eye tracking is to identify different types of eye movements. In this work, we tackle the problem of ternary eye movement classification, which aims to separate fixations, saccades, and smooth pursuits from the raw eye positional data. The existing work related to eye movement classification usually has two main branches. One focuses on the threshold-based algorithms using threshold values for features such as the velocity and dispersion. Another branch adopts more recent machine learning and deep learning techniques. For the threshold value-based algorithms, they usually require manually pre-selected threshold values to achieve good classification performance, which is kind of inconvenient. For machine learning, especially deep learning methods, they are becoming more popular due to its promising competence. However, these data-driven methods rely on a large amount of data for training the neural network, and when the task changes, the retraining process is needed for the network to achieve equally good performance for the novel task. Different from the existing work, we propose a statistical hierarchical hidden Markov model for detecting fixations, saccades, and smooth pursuits. The proposed algorithm leverages different features from the recorded raw eye tracking data with a hierarchical classification strategy, separating one type of eye movement each time. Our objective is to improve the robustness and performance of the threshold-based methods and even competing with more recent machine learning-based state-of-the-art methods. Now we start to present the methodology of our work. Hidden Markov model is a statistical model for time series based on the Markov process with hidden states. The principle of the hidden Markov model is to determine the hidden state with the maximum probability according to the observation sequence. Generally speaking, it relies on the distinguishable probability distributions of features to correctly define different hidden states. In the case of eye movement classification, the probability distributions for different movement types are usually represented by continuous Gaussian distributions. The main challenge of ternary eye movement classification using the existing methods lies in the biases of the features for smooth pursuits. While fixations and saccades have very different positional dispersion and velocity features, smooth pursuits are rather ambiguous in terms of dispersion and velocity, since the steady state of a smooth pursuit often contains corrective saccades, making the eye tracking data very noisy. Here is the pseudocode for our proposed hierarchical hidden Markov model algorithm. Firstly, we start by analyzing different features of the raw eye positional data as a pre-processing step. So the objective of the pre-processing is to determine the features that can be used to separate three eye movement types in later steps. In our case, we select the velocity and the positional features. After selecting appropriate features, we then perform the first stage rough classification on the eye tracking data to separate saccades from the fixations and smooth pursuits using the hidden Markov model. We refer the first stage as rough classification due to the reason that the classification results will be fine-tuned in later steps. The second stage classification adopts a different feature to separate fixations and smooth pursuits by another hidden Markov model, using the first feature as a fine-tuning criteria at the same time. The final step of our hierarchical hidden Markov model is to merge the classified points into complete eye movements with temporal and distance duration criteria. More implementation details can be found in our paper. Next, we continue to present the experimental part of this work. We use the eye tracking dataset recorded from the previous research work for experiments. 7 different behavior scores are used as quantitative evaluation matrix for our experiments. We compare our proposed hierarchical hidden Markov model with 6 other baselines: IVVT, IVDT, IVNP, IRF, IBDT, and 1D CNN with bidirectional LSTM. Among these 6 baselines, 3 of them are threshold-based methods, while others are learning-based. All the threshold values are optimized for different subject recordings in our experiments for comparison for the threshold-based methods. For other methods, we split the dataset recordings into training and testing splits. Among 11 recordings, 3 subject recordings are used for testing. Specifically for 1D CNN, we take the pre-trained model and fine-tune it on the training split of this dataset. In this table, we report the behavior scores obtained by the proposed method and other methods on the subjects that are manually evaluated as median, good, and bad in the eye tracking data quality. The ideal scores and manually classification results are also reported for comparison. The calculation of the ideal behavior scores considers the actual physiological reactions of humans when performing different types of eye movements. We observe that our proposed method achieves promising performance compared to other baseline methods and is much closer to human performance. Except for the IVVT that has difficulty in detecting the smooth pursuits, other methods can more or less detect 3 different types of eye movements. For the threshold-based methods, IVNP has slightly better performance compared to IVDT. For the learning-based methods, the 1D CNN slightly underperforms than others. One possible reason for its underperformance could be the limited amount of smooth pursuit data for fine-tuning. Since the original model was trained in a different dataset and fine-tuned in our experiments, the transfer learning process may be less effective compared to retraining the entire network model, which also reveals one of the limitations about those data-driven methods. We then present the qualitative classification results in this figure. The qualitative results are consistent with the previous quantitative results. Notably, our proposed method succeeds in detecting an unexpected saccade, while most of the other methods detect it either as smooth pursuit or fixation. We further conduct an additional ablation experiment to demonstrate the necessity and effectiveness of the proposed hierarchical structure. Since the fixations, saccades, and smooth pursuits can be considered as 3 hidden states, we use the velocity feature as a criteria and adopt a single-stage hidden Markov model with the 3 hidden states to do the same task. In other words, we remove the second-stage classification from the proposed model. The experimental results for ablation analysis prove that the hierarchical structure contributes to better classification results. In conclusion, we propose a hierarchical hidden Markov model algorithm to tackle the problem of ternary eye movement classification. Its core idea is simple yet effective. It avoids to manually select the threshold values and do not require a large amount of training data. A deeper hierarchical structure for more eye movement types could be a possible future direction for this work. Thank you for listening.